Alright, today I want to make this video because there's been a lot of things happening in the space, and basically the number one thing is everybody's complaining about how the space is not doing anything. You know, it's unproductive. It hasn't achieved anything, and then I hear that, and then juxtapose that to what BGS did a live stream on addressing those concerns, and it's funny, but BGS is right, man. I'm sorry to say, but I've never seen such a disruption from a space that literally doesn't even have funding. Like it's interesting because when BGS made the comment that people are going to look for what they want and only see what they want, not exactly in those words, but along those lines, he was absolutely correct. Because when I'm in the space, every single video I listen to, well, not every single video, but most of the videos I listen to are pertaining to what I'm trying to do, and the stuff that I need to learn. So I usually tune into BGS's channel, Green Gorilla's channel, Dr. T. Hassan Johnson's channel. I also listen to Art New Style, definitely Art of Idmore, Coliseum. I listen to these channels religiously, and I do listen to other channels, but not as much. I used to listen to Grinch's channel a lot, but he took it behind the wall, and it's just taking me a little bit to get behind the wall so I can listen to his stuff again. But it's just funny because a lot of the stuff that most of the guys can even argue to even basically use in their everyday lives, they got from this space. Kevin was basically the spearhead in basically taking black women and displaying who they really are to the entire world. So it didn't just become a he said, she said thing. It became a he said, she said, he did, she did thing. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, it's not just what black women say about black men. It's not just what black men say about black women. It's also what they do and what everybody sees that they do that was important. Everybody saw that when it came to black men and black women being together, it was black women that did not want to be with black men, and black men desperately wanting to be with black women. That came from this space. Just Pearly Things, she went on to Kevin's platform, argued with Kevin a little bit, and after a while, she changed her mindset, and now she's one of the biggest red pill content creators in the space. Kevin did that. Kevin's from the space. BGS is the one who brought Kevin into the space. So all of these complaints, all of this, oh, you know, the space is just not doing anything. I mean, I don't know. I haven't really seen anything else to largely affect the voting patterns of black men. Not as much as this space. ADOS came out of this space. It was the arguments back in the Coliseum days where everybody was going back and forth, you know, talking about basically the things that we can do to save the community, which is interesting because not a lot of people know this, but the discussions back in the day were about saving the community, not necessarily where it's ended up here today, which is everybody for themselves, save yourself. Which I am SYSBM, by the way. I'm IBMore, but I am SYSBM because I'm willing to do what it takes um, for the community, but not at the expense of myself and the people around me. I got people that depend on me, people that look up to me. So there's no way that I can just wantonly throw myself to the cause. So I got people that I'm responsible for and people I got to take care of. So I got to do what I got to do. But when it comes to the space back in the day, we were actually having discussions, and I wasn't on these panels, but I was in the comment section. But we were having these discussions. We were having these realizations in real time. Um, I mean, shit. We have people that were here that are not here anymore because of some of the realizations that came to fruition, and it's just interesting because the black men in this space didn't get to this point because they wanted to. They got to this point because they had to. Back when I first got into the space, there were barely any women in here. Nobody gave a fuck. Nobody cared. Everybody had something to say about, how black men can improve, but nobody went to black men asking what they can do to improve their situations. Definitely wasn't black women. So, I mean, nobody cared. So when the input was needed, not that in my opinion it would have made a difference because they probably would have just doubled down on stupid anyway, but when the input when their input would have had more weight, when they could have gotten away with certain things much more easily back then than today, that's when they needed to be in the space talking to men. And but then again, if you think about it, that would require them to show some type of compassion for black men, which I don't I don't think I don't think the way that black women show compassion is compatible with what black men are looking for, because a lot of black men just are fed up, like BGS said. So it's interesting because if not for this space, I don't even think a lot of the stuff that happened positively for the brothers in this space, I don't think it would have happened. Or it may have taken a longer amount of time. It might have taken um, many more years. I know BGS cut down a lot of the stuff that I wanted to know into bite-sized pieces, and I was able to absorb a lot of it, and now I'm able to, discuss higher level topics with the people in my family. I mean, they don't necessarily agree with what I say, but at the end of the day, I mean, without this space, I wouldn't even be able to help the people around me. Not as effectively and as efficiently as I do today. And what's crazy is I remember debate that BGS had with a bunch of people, especially that one chick. I forgot her name, but basically BGS was saying how they're gonna get rid of abortion because they have to. And at the time, nobody believed them. and basically he was going down his reasoning as to why it needs to happen, and basically he was getting a lot of pushback. And I think her name was Carib, and Carib was saying that she was basically saying that there's no way, um, that's something that women rely on. They'll never get rid of it because women need it, and there's absolutely no way that this was gonna happen. And lo and behold, there you go. But wow, couldn't even believe it. BGS was right, and at the time I was discussing it with my brother, and I was telling him that they're gonna get rid of abortion, and he had the same pushback. Like he just didn't see it happening, and I ran down the reasons that BGS was running down, and I was like, it's this, and this. This is the reason why they're gonna have to get rid of it, and if they don't, well then you're gonna have um, too steep of a population decline, and if it goes down too far, there's nothing that we're gonna be able to do about it, and so we're gonna have to address the situation. And right when um, abortion rights got removed at the federal level, I went and told my brother, and my brother was like, "Yeah, you were right, but I need you to be right when it comes to making money. Like, yo, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Come on, bro. Like, what? I mean, I'm just one person. I'm learning this stuff, you know, one step at a time, just like everybody else." And even then, BGS was doing things on like charts of like gold, silver, crypto. BGS called a lot of the stuff in terms of crypto where it was going. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm pretty sure BGS called the collapse of crypto. Um, well, not necessarily the collapse, but the steep decline in value because China pulled out 100% and then subsequently banned Bitcoin. So he was like, I'd be careful with Bitcoin. And not even like a couple days, or I think it was like maybe a month, maybe two. I don't remember, but in a span, and it took a while, but when it did happen, like I wasn't surprised because BGS ran down why it happened, and it was just turned out to be right. What else do you need? And all of those things that happened culminated because of this space. So when people complain and say that the space is useless, the space is this, the space is that, I don't know. Maybe it's useless for you because you can't get any value out of it, but that does not necessarily mean that there's no value to be had. Just like it's up to the individual person to determine what's good for them and what's not good for them. And sometimes they'll determine that what's good for them is good for them, even though it's not. Or they'll determine what's bad for them, even though it's good for them. And that's what freedom of thought, freedom of speech. That's people are free to do whatever, and that's just the consequence of freedom. You can't force people to just be what you want them to be. It just doesn't work that way. So I mean, if I'm gonna be honest, man, if you guys can't get the value out of the space, then that's a you problem. So yeah, so figure it out. It's the best I got for you.